conversations about scoring pylons this weekend at Talladega?
Well, I mean, listen, they're so important. They put them on TV for you. So, no, it's important. I mean, if you look at there, I don't know. That's what we see. You don't have any idea where we qualified if you're an 11 fan or a 42 fan or someone like that. So, I think it's important for sure. I did talk to Chip, and he says, that, they did think it through, but they figured that scoring pylons only service those in the infield. It doesn't service those that are on the stands. I don't know about that, but it's and so certainly we know it's important to the race fan because it's they put it on TV for you for the millions that do watch at home. So you want to be able to see where your driver's at, and I think that's why it's important. And not only that, it's just that's what a racetrack is. I think you're taking those down. It's just not as good. Every time I go through a tunnel, and it might be just me, first thing I do is look at the scoring pylon to see, who's where and what. So it's, I don't know, maybe more of a sentimental thing from a purist like myself, but every track has its own ideas, and we've just seen it over time. I think it started with Bristol taking some out, and then it was, Watkins Glen, I noticed, and then obviously last week, and then now this week. So hopefully it's not a trend.
Could you put laps on your digital dash, and would you feel like
it's
you
not
have to?
For us. I mean, it should be for the folks, in the infield, and I think that's what their justification is. Which it's the reasoning is that it's just for the people in the infield. It's not for anyone at home or anyone in the stands. I think what created so many exciting times during qualifying was when the number would pop up on the scoring pylon, P1 for Dale Jr., whoever it was. That was what created that's what people are looking at, and so now it's just a little different. So it's I don't know. They'll reevaluate. I think if they think it needs to come back.
During the race or any other sessions, do you catch yourself peeking at the pylon?
All the time, yeah. It's important for us personally, kind of know where certain guys are, certain times, and certain laps. So it's important to us, but again, the team could let us know if it's super important. They have their own scoring pylon in our own time in scoring, because you want to know all the time where each person is at, and not have to wait that 2 minutes for a scroll.
And especially for a track like here, does that help with like drafting partners?
Yeah, it does. I mean, I know on restarts, when I think about super speedways, I always kind of look to see the odds and evens to see who am I going to line up. When I go to choose lanes, which guy am I going to pick in front of, and then who's behind them. Because you look for pushers in that second, third, fourth row.
Yeah, and then with the scoring pylon not there, do you use the pylon yourself as a guide for where everyone's running, how many laps are done in the race?
Generally not really here. I mean, you can kind of see what's going on. Everybody's so close. It's not like there's a guy half a lap ahead of you or something like that. So yeah, we're all in such a tight pack. You kind of know what's going on.
All right, 2 weekends in a row it's been missing though. Has that kind of shocked you? It caught you off guard?
Yeah, I mean, I noticed last weekend, during qualifying practice and stuff, I was looking around for it, but yeah, I haven't noticed here yet.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, I guess my way is like, do you use it and like?
You are going to ask me about a scoring pylon.
I'm asking it more from
I know him too well.
From a competition.
Yeah. Do you think he was going to ask about scoring pylon?
Yes.
From a competition standpoint, like, I'm curious, like, do drivers look at it, and like, if you do, then do you have to like add it to your digital dash, like a lap counter or anything, or does it?
I don't think you can do that.
Okay.
I don't think you can.
All right.
You know something I don't.
I don't know.
You don't know. That makes two of us. I like having a scoring pylon. It's not like I think it's part of the experience, but as a driver, there's some tracks you can see it, some tracks you can't. So it's not like a every week thing.
And I'm sorry about asking this almost every week, but O'Donnell said that the charter agreement was close, very close. But I'm curious if you've seen anything or heard of anything that would make you feel it's any closer.
There's nothing I'm aware of, but maybe there's something going on behind the scenes I don't know about.
Did the pylons being gone at both Texas and here catch you a bit off guard?
I don't know. I mean, like on a scale of 1 to 10, it wasn't like a 10, but I would say it was a 5 or a 6. Yeah, on the off guard scale.
Would you prefer to have them stay, or are you indifferent?
Yeah, but I don't have to pay for them. So, like, would you prefer to fly first class or coach? Like, yeah, but I'd have to pay for it first class, right? Yeah.
Brad qualifying session or even during the race, do you look at the pylon? Does that help you? Maybe not necessarily strategy, but just like situational awareness. Or
I used to just see where we were compared to some guys that we were racing around, see what point of the race we're in and where guys are at. So yeah, I used it. It was a good little marker for me to kind of see what everybody was doing, and don't want to see them go away. I don't think anybody does. So hopefully we can fix that. I think the voice has been heard, right? So hopefully we can straighten that issue out pretty quick.
Would you want like a new pylon like what IMS has with the whole digital boards, or would you want something more classic with the numbers?
I think the digital board does a good job. I remember when Indy put it in a few years ago, and I thought it's been fine. Wilkesboro did the same thing when we went back there, so I think LED board is fine, better to use for tracks, right? You can use it for a handful of things. So hopefully we can get some hung up. I'm sure it's a
how much of an adjustment is that going into tomorrow without the pylon for you and your spotter? Is that much of a curveball for y'all?
No, it doesn't change it for us. It was just something to look at more or less. It doesn't really change it for us.
Yeah. Are you gonna ask what my take is on the pylons?
I'm curious. Like, do you look at it? Well, your owner seems to have a strong take on it.
Right?
So, but he has.
I mean, it was funny. I did find myself trying to look for the pylon last weekend, totally forgetting that it wasn't there. So, I mean, we use it as a tool for sure to see where we're running, how many laps are left, and I mean, it gives fans something to, like you see. Like qualifying, right? When that number, their favorite driver number, jumps to the top, like it's exciting. So, look, these places got a lot of money. They can afford to put new pylons in.
Last week there was no scoring pylon to Texas. Looks like this one at Talladega is not here either. As a driver, do you use the scoring pylon under caution or even under green to just try and check and see where everything's going in the race?
Yeah, typically I do. It was actually funny during qualifying for Xfinity. I got here and I was looking for the pylon and didn't realize that they took it down. I didn't really think much of it until I realized on Twitter that it was taken down. So yeah, that was a little different, but hopefully we'll put one back up.
All right. Thank you, Ryan.
Yep.
There was no scoring pylon at Texas. There's none here either. As a driver, do you use that during the race or under caution to just serve as a guide to where you're running and everyone's running and the laps that are run?
Yeah, I use that a lot, and I didn't realize how much I used it until it was gone last week at Texas. So, that is the only way that we know how many laps are on unless we ask our spotter, and I use that a lot. Like, I don't know. I guess I can just key up and ask my spotter what lap we're on, but it was super convenient to just look at the pylon and know where we're at. So it would be nice. I don't really care about the running order, but it would be nice to have a lap count or lap ticker somewhere visual from the drivers.
Thank you, Chris.
This is Austin Dillon, driver of the Bass Pro Shops Chevrolet. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also check out one of those 2 videos beside me. Visit frontstretch.com for more racing content.